and I hope everybody's doing well today. Again, I'm Nikki. If you haven't joined us before, I'm the Community Education Specialist here at the North Carolina Zoo, and we always appreciate you guys coming out and joining us for our zoo classroom. So today, just a couple ground rules before we get started. You guys are muted and your videos are off just because it keeps us sane. Otherwise, it gets really, really loud and distracting. And I'm easily distracted. Yeah, kind of. So, also, but that doesn't mean we're not going to interact. So I want you guys to interact with me. Excuse me. Which is what we're going to talk about today, so it's perfect for it. So, you guys, I want you to interact with me. So I'm going to be asking you lots of questions for you to respond to me. Put those answers in the chat box. And I've got Donna over here helping me monitor chat. And then behind, I got Denise helping me with Q&A. So if you have questions for us, not just me, but I have a team of smart people helping you too that are out there going to help answer those questions. If you have any questions for us about animals, anything like that, or the topics, or any of the critters that you're going to see today, put those in the Q&A box, all right? So, all right, rules over. Let's get started. Today's program, animal rappers. Always makes me think I should start singing a rap song. Right? If I could rap, I would totally rap for you guys, but I don't want to embarrass myself, so I'm not gonna. So, but by rappers, I mean animal covering. What covers the outside of animals? And what is our covering? So here's my question for you. If you have an answer, what is our covering? What do we have that covers our body, our human body? So put that in the chat box. What are our coverings? Let's see. I'm just gonna help. There you go. Okay. We got, sorry, I got one person, she's holding my microphone for me. We got cameras, it's craziness in here, so bear with us. So yeah, what do we got covering? We got hair, okay? Skin, absolutely, right. We got hair and we have skin. What does that do for us? How does that help us? What there are many things in ways that help. So what are some different things or ways that help us? I'll put it out of them. What are some different things our skin and our hair help us? Answers? Heat, right? Temperature control, right? Keep us a little bit warmer, especially in the winter time. Absolutely. Keep our body in place. Right? Absolutely. So everything, your organs will just come flopping out, right? Keep everything in. Anything else? Life. What's that? Life. Life? Right. I think you're on the right track. Because imagine if we didn't have skin, because let me know what our body is mostly made out of. What is the chemical? If you hit. What are we mostly made of? Water. Water, right. If we didn't have skin, what would happen to all the water that's in our body? Thanks. Happens when it rains. It comes out. It comes out, right. It would, that fancy science word is evaporate, right? It's like if it rains, the rain eventually dries up, right? It evaporates, it gets soaked in. So all the water that's in our body would evaporate. I don't know, oh no. So the skin keeps it nice and quick, right? Keeps the water in, except for when it's 100 degrees and 100% humidity. So it leaks out of us, right? But that's why we have to hydrate. So, right, all those. Anything else you can think of? How your skin helps you? Or your hair? Girls, think about this. Well, when you're old enough to date, with our hair a little bit, we can look pretty. Sometimes it's distraction of me, right? Sometimes our hair helps us with that. All right, lots of different things our skin and our hair help us with. So they help us temperature control. They help our, keep us moist. They help us, kind of protect us too, right? Like layer protection. So our coverings do so many things for us. And animals have so many different coverings and different things they do with theirs too. And we'll start off small. Let's see. Let's zoom awesome tool over here. So it's a microscope that we put stuff under, and it shows them on the camera. And we're going to zoom in. If you how's it looking? I want you guys to tell me, what animal covering do you think that is? You guys guess. What animal covering do you think that is?
Elephant.
Elephant? Yes.
Fur.
Sure.
Cow.
Cow. There. Dog. Polar bear. I haven't heard the answer yet. All right, come on back, Mr. Denise. I'm actually gonna take it off the microscope. Oh yeah. Pull that up. We're figuring things out, guys. All right. What is it? You guys see, what is that? The butterfly wing, right? This is the wing from a Luna moth. Yeah, no inside moth, right? Is that cool? I love this microscope. I get nerd out over it. So get excited about using it when I can. But yeah, so that is a close-up of a Luna moth wing. Or they have scales on them too. It almost looks very feathery and furry. It does look very furry. So because moths tend to have furry, more furry things. You want to get that butterfly out of that case. So I have a monarch butterfly. We'll put it under there, and we'll see. It's a little bit different than the moth. Kind of cool. That helps us be able to get into the case. Oh, it is. Yeah, put it on over just so you know that. Yeah, you can kind of see it's a little bit different. It's really kind of cool. See that? So you can kind of see like the scales a little bit on that one. That's a monarch butterfly. Pretty cool. So those are kind of our insects. So what is their covering? Right? Let me know what the fancy science word for a covering that covers an insect. Actually, let's go ahead and put this one there. I'm saying some of it. Yeah. Oh, I tell you, exoskeleton, right? So they have an exoskeleton, and some exoskeleton. Oh, this is a cool one. All right, poor Denise, she's getting her workout today. There we go. Oh, oh. That's a beautiful picture. That's really cool. Okay. All right. Hold on. Move over here. All right. Does anybody know what exoskeleton that came from? Any guesses?
Okay, bee.
A bee. That's a good guess because they do have a lot of kind of fur and hair on them. They're a little furry looking.
Tarantula.
Fire. Right. Next job, guys. That is a tarantula exoskeleton. Close up with that. All right. These. Zoom back. Really? Poor thing. Yeah. Can't look out. Did you get your pedometer on for your steps today? All right. Perfect. We're gonna get them up. So right. So your exoskeleton. Oh. All right. Out of a spider. Okay. Sorry guys. I know it's hard. It's the microphone is in an odd place. It's normally up here, but it's over here this time. So I'll try to talk louder. So this is going to the wrong camera. Exoskeleton tarantula. They climb out, so their exoskeleton is focus. But that tarantula, as they get bigger, their exoskeleton doesn't grow with them, so they have to break out of the old one, and you have a new one that kind of hardens up underneath that. So, whereas our skeleton is obviously inside, so you guys, when you throw bigger, right, you don't go out and get a new, well, actually, this is what you do, right? So as you get bigger, instead of getting a skeleton, but you have to have new coverings, right? You have to go out and buy new clothes, right? So as you get bigger, you have to get bigger clothes. That's kind of what the spiders do. So, you know, as they get bigger, they have to kind of get new clothes. So we kind of do the same thing. This is just different. So exoskeleton. And our first friend has a pretty awesome exoskeleton. All right. Prep, get ready for protection. Ready, not for me. This is for the critters and for our critter keepers. We're just the friends that take care of all our friends in need today. Just keep them safe. All right. It's getting hard for me to remember which camera to go to get to here. Hard to see. There we go. There it works. Oh, there we go. Wait for it to focus in on it. Focusing on my gloves. There we go. You guys are on the right track. Right. And you got this other one that sounds like a ball. Yeah. This one is I wouldn't be handling this one. But I will handle a millipede. And this is an African giant millipede. And you can see their exoskeleton. And their exoskeleton is broken up to all these little segments. You can see all the little lines called the body segments. And for each body segment our millipede has, we have 4 legs. 4 legs per body segment, which makes them different from the centipede. A centipede would only have 2 legs per body segment. Oh, getting an extreme close up. Come to say hi. Yeah. All right. So, what does their exoskeleton do for them? This is our millipede here. How does it help them? What do you think? How does their exoskeleton help Millie the millipede? Because I'm not that creative. You can't think of that name.
Probably be kind of hard anyway to name all of them. There's a lot of them. You can take the cold.
Right? Safe from the cold, right? Anything else? Oh, here we go. Oh, come on. She's cute. Right. Or it. So, it keeps them from the cold. What happens? Do you guys think other animals might want to eat Millie here? What do you guys think? Something else want to eat our friends? The bird, yeah, absolutely. The bird and lots of other animals would actually want to eat that. So, do you think that's going to kind of that crunchy outer covering like an M&M? Is it going to protect them a little bit, maybe? And another cool thing that they do, not common to all insects, is they will actually kind of make a substance kind of excrete or come out of onto their exoskeleton, and it actually just makes them taste really bad. And so that's another thing. So a bird would come up and they find it very crunchy and hard, but it would also taste horrible, and they'd probably spit it out, and the exoskeleton would probably save them from that first initial crunch, and then that really bad taste would save them. So birds would see that and be like, I'm not eating one of those ever again. Going for that. So that's a pretty good way of protecting yourself. You have a kind of a toxic outer coating too. And what's really cool is monkeys in Africa discovered that if they poke and prod this millipede and get them to kind of excrete that, get that substance on their exoskeleton, they can then rub that substance on their fur, and it acts kind of like a bubble pump, a natural bubble pump. It's kind of like your can of off you use when you go outside and all the mosquitoes flying around. So how they figure that out, I don't know, but pretty cool, right?
What do you think?
Let me ask you, what do you guys think they eat? You guys have watched people before, maybe seen our millipedes. Let's see if you guys remember. What do you think Millie the millipede would eat? Oh, I see leaves. Right. Actually, yeah. So they're what we call a detritivore. We fancy science word that means they eat dead and decaying plants. So they're kind of the recyclers of the world. They're out there kind of eating up all those different dead plants and leaves that fall to the ground, and then they digest it, and then they poop out soil. So they're pooping nutrients back into the soil so more plants can then grow and then more animals can grow. And all of it and so on that food chain. So pretty important job. Any other questions about Millie?
How many legs?
Oh, I don't know. You guys want to count? So this is the largest millipede in the world, and they call millipede, and milli means 1,000, but they don't ever get that quite that many. They probably maxed out at about 750. My guess, this one, a couple hundred. I have no idea. I don't have the patience to sit and count all those legs. I just know that I can barely walk on 2, and they're walking on hundreds. Really amazing. And I love watching them walk. It's like a wave of legs. Isn't that cool? Like the legs are doing the wave. Pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna put Millie back. Well, we can still answer questions if you have more questions.
So there was one about what if they eat salty?
If they what?
If they eat salt.
They eat salt?
Yeah. So what if they eat salt? Do they die?
Or you were probably thinking of like slugs and snails that if they go in near salt, they just kind of shrivel up and die. Yeah, they're more protected because slugs don't have an exoskeleton to protect them, and so they kind of do so they can hold in their moisture better. But I don't think they could do a lot of salt just like we can't, right? So we can't drink salt water, so a lot of salt cannot destroy any of us. So yeah, but they're definitely more protected than the snails or slugs that you're thinking of.
Would you estimate that one that you were just holding was about 2 and 2.5, 3 inches long?
Oh, 1, 2, 3. I'm pushing 7. I guess it's 6, 7, maybe even 8 inches. And they can get up to 12 inches. They're the largest millipedes in the world. So when they get full grown,
and that's equal to 1 foot.
Yeah, 1 foot. 1 foot. I think I might put ours up there. The camera's too high. Whew, hydrate. Losing my moisture. I'm losing my moisture already. All right. So exoskeletons, a pretty amazing covering. Let's go on to what do we put? This one is my skill. What do you guys think this is? Zoom in. Let's zoom in, Denise. I'll come around so I can speak into the microphone. All right, what do you guys think? What animal do you think that's from? Alligator, turtle, crocodile. Moth. now we got the moth. Honeybee. Honeybee. All right. Okay. Let's see. How about if I do this? Now what do you think? There you go.
Snake.
Snake, right. What is their covering? Their wrapper. Skin or it has a more specific name for the coverings on our group of reptiles. What do they have? What do reptiles have covering their bodies? Special name. There we go. Scales. Right. Absolutely. These are the scales. And just like our skin, they help protect them, keep them moist, all that good stuff. But I like to show these because not only do their scales do another thing, they help them move. So let's put this side on here and show bottom. Zoom out a little bit. There we go. So on the very very bottom in the belly of a snake, they have these big, wide tails. Look at those. And those are pretty much kind of like fingers. So they use those scales to kind of grab on and grab hold of stuff as they move around. Pretty cool. So they have different scales on the top of their body, and then those flat, smoother scales on the bottom and belly of the snake. So some coverings help animals move. Pretty cool. All right. And Charlie, this is a very dirty snake. What's really kind of gross is you put your fingers under there and you see the close-up of your fingers. You're like, oh man, I need a manicure. So it's kind of gross. It shows the thing, but it's pretty cool, right? Get that close. Snakes have some pretty awesome scales, and this one, let's see if that one will show up. Sorry, snake. Okay. All right. Oh, that's pretty cool. So right, put that one aside. So this right here is a scale that goes over their eye. Call it an eye cap, or a fancy word is a grill. And that's kind of like a contact lens. So it goes over their eye, and just like our eyelid, it helps keep that eye moist and wet. So pretty cool. So different scales you see. All right. Let's see. Let's put that one under. Gonna hide it. See what you guys think. And sneaky snakes today. And we're still in the reptiles. What covering, what animal do you think this covering is from? What do you think? Oh. Move it around a little bit. I forgot for you for helping me run the microscope. Crocodile? There you go. Right. Down here, yep, absolutely. So they have super thick scales, right? So they have all these different kind of thicker scales, right? Have some moist and protected, right? Animals that want to do stuff. All right, now our next one. Here we go, Denise. Jingle, jingle. That's pretty, actually. Some of these images, that's close. So what animal? There we go. Now it's the turtle, absolutely. And that's to focus on one scale of a turtle. Does anybody know the fancy science word for the scales on a turtle on their back? It's my favorite word. I know, it's a fun word to say. It's not spelled the way it's meant. No. Yeah, that is definitely a turtle. Absolutely. But what is the name of the scale on a turtle? So you know. That's something you never really heard of. But we'll learn. That's what the point of this program is. It's called a scoot. S-C-U-T-E. Scoot. So that is a turtle scoot. All right. We're going back. All right. And so the scoot, the scales, kind of help protect. But what is it that truly helps protect the turtle? Covering. There we go. Are you eating? Sorry. I'm so hungry. He's having a little bit of a bite to eat. So we're going to say on. This is Darwin. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Tell me, guys, because I can't, in this whole situation, I can't tell if you hear me or not. So, yeah, let me know if I need to talk louder, so I will try. So, this is Darwin. Darwin is a tortoise. He's actually a pretty special tortoise. Has anybody ever heard of a Galapagos tortoise? Yeah. So they're one of the largest tortoises. Well, they're the largest tortoise, not the largest turtle in the world. huge. He's a baby. So he's pretty small. And so Darwin is what we call a Western, different types of Galapagos tortoise. He's a Western Santa Cruz tortoise. So he's from a different island, a different kind of island, one of the islands in the Galapagos Islands. And he's pretty tiny, believe it or not. And he's grown quite a bit. We've had them about a little over a year. And he's almost doubled in size, if not. I just saw a picture of someone holding one last summer. And yeah, he was probably about half the size. So they're growing pretty quick. But I say he's tiny because when you compare it to what he'll look like as an adult, you might have to zoom out on this one. So when Darwin's done growing, he might get this big. He's massive. So they have this huge shell. And if Denise, if you can come in close to show them this. Kind of this honeycomb right here on their bones. You see that? That right there? So you'll see all the little holes and stuff in there. So that makes them lighter. This looks like it would weigh a ton. Yeah, it's heavy, but it's not that heavy as when I first picked it up. It was a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. You know, it still is just awkward. So, because there's a lot of these air spaces in them, it makes it a little bit lighter. And for them to kind of walk around, it's so huge. Isn't that massive? Okay. So he's got some growing to do. We'll give him about another 20, maybe 30 years. He might get this big. But he's pretty awesome. But how is this going to help Darwin? What does it do for him? Go ahead and move this out of the way. What do you guys think? What does that show? Protection, absolutely. Big time, big protection. So you'll notice some turtles, like the one that's under the microscope, our box turtles, our state turtle we have around here, they can really close up tight so you can't see their face, their legs, their tail, nothing. They pull everything in, they close up like a box. They can't quite do that. They don't have that special hinge that a box turtle has. But they have, you notice these front legs right here almost look like armor plating. So see, this is their covering. So their front legs and even kind of the back piece, so the stuff that would be kind of sticking out has kind of really, really tough, thick scales to help protect them, kind of like armor does, right? Pretty cool. You have a question? Yeah, so how old is he? So Darwin is, correct me if I'm wrong, Bestie, Wendy, anybody out there? I want to say 3, I don't know why 3 or 5 pops into my head.
3 to 5 years old, maybe?
I want to say 3, but it's probably 5. Or if I say 5, it's probably 3. So, I don't know.
And I guess while they're answering that question, what does he tend to eat?
So Darwin here is, I'm going to use a big fancy sign for it to see if you guys know what it means. He's an herbivore. So he eats what? What do you guys think? Does he eat meat? Does he eat plants? Or does he eat both? He eats plants and vegetation, absolutely. You can see what's hanging from his mouth. He got a little hay. So he gets a giant salad every day. We mix up the different kind of greens. And that's what they do. They eat. I'm just hoping he doesn't pee on me. So that's his way of defending himself with that. So I have to hold him way up high at this awkward angle. It is great. Great. Okay. See, I knew it was one or the other. I get my animals confused after a while. I'm old. Just forgive me.
I am surprised that he hasn't let go of that piece of hay that's in his mouth.
I know. He really wants it.
He's like, this is mine.
This is mine. Not letting it go.
So he is was it Santa?
Western Santa Cruz.
Western
Giant
Santa
tourist.
Cruz.
Yeah, Western Santa Cruz. So there's another Santa Cruz one. So there's different subspecies of Galapagos tortoises.
That's he's 2 years, 3 months in my head.
Oh,
Goodness,
to be specific. Thank you, Beth. So less than 3. We'll go with that. Thank you. I don't know why I can't remember that. So 2 years, 3 months, and 1 day old. So she's got the good, she can has access to the good information. So, any other questions about Darwin?
Yes, that Isabella, it is a piece of hay that's in his mouth.
Right, yep. See it? Yum. That's lunch.
He's not letting you go.
Nope. So, yeah, we feed them hay, we feed them different grasses and plants, stuff like that, and yeah, they munch. It's fun to watch them eat, and they eat a lot. But what's really kind of neat, neat for them, but the reason why they're actually endangered is they don't actually have, they can go for a long period of time without eating. And so sailors way, like hundreds of years ago, several hundred years ago, noticed that, and they were like, well, turtles are huge, which means they have a lot of meat. And so we can put this turtle on our ship. We don't have to worry about feeding. We don't have to, carry food to feed them, to keep alive before, until we can cook it up and have it for dinner. And so that made them very, unfortunately, their numbers went down pretty drastically. A lot of people were doing that. But we don't do that anymore. And slowly but surely the numbers came up, but they are still endangered. Yeah. But our tortoises definitely eat a lot. All right. Any other questions about Darwin? No? All right. I'm going to put them back. If you do, go ahead and type those in.
Well, I put that
Shredded my glove.
He's probably like, thank goodness, that was in the
That's
middle.
my hay. There's my piece of hay. So he definitely has claws on the ends of his hand. So if he's moving around, he kind of shredded my glove on me.
Yeah, I thought I heard something break. Like, I thought maybe it's him moving against, like, hitting his shell or something.
Oh.
You almost had that noise. I guess
Yeah.
it was your glove.
Yep, my glove. He's ripping it up. That was pretty awesome. So turtle shells is a pretty awesome coloring. Great way to carry your home, your protection around you all the time. But has its drawbacks. I mean, you have to carry this massive, like, Darwin, when he gets older, he's going to carry this massive shell on his back for his life. So that's why they obviously move very slowly to carry that big thing around. Not going to mean the drawback is they can't move fast, right? Let's see. Let's go you put on the microscope this time. You guys probably have all seen this. If you have pets at home. Get out of the way.
Well, they can kind of see it from here,
Yeah.
That's pretty.
I don't know what you think that's from. Yeah.
Here we go. We got it.
What do we got? Wolf. Nice job. It's fur, right? Fur from a wolf. If you have dogs at home, right? So what's their covering? What is it? What do we call this? Fur. Absolutely. And a lot of dogs and the wolves too have two kinds of fur. So way down deep, when you get close, up close to their skin, they kind of have this fuzzy fur next to their skin to keep them nice and warm. And then they have these kind of stiffer outer hairs, guard hairs, to help kind of protect them, make them nice and thick protection. And definitely used for what? What does the skin help them do? What is fur? All this big fur, what's it help them do? Several things actually. That fur help them do. Keep warm, right? And cool, believe it or not. So that fur can let in cool air close to their skin too, and trap cooler air next to their skin. So it has a double duty. So it's kind of a nice air conditioning unit. Air conditioning and unit.
I wish I could do that.
I know, no kidding. It would be awesome. Anything else fur might do? This animal might give you a little bit more of a clue. What their fur helps them do. Blend in. Nice. Camouflage. Absolutely. Let me know what animal this is from.
Yeah.
You know, don't guess the cheetah, go see the spots. But when you see
jaguar.
Right. See that open kind of spot right there? That tells you this is a leopard. Right? So this is a leopard pelt and excellent camouflage. So what they have is something called countershade. If you guys have ever heard of that, if you notice, a lot of the animals, not just in the mammal world, but in the birds, fish, sharks, all kinds of different animals have this countershade, which means they have a dark back and a lighter belly. So can you think of an animal that has dark back, light belly? You think of these immediately. A little bit, it's really cold. Wow. You're in a tuxedo.
Oh, we got sharks.
Sharks do, yep, they absolutely do. Yes. So, yeah, some things do, absolutely. Anything else? One has counter shading, so dark back, light belly. A lot of birds. And I was thinking penguins, right? Really, really, and when you come to the zoo, our puffins and our mirrors and the ocelots have white bellies and dark backs for a reason, because it's something up high. It's searching up high. Let's say this leopard's down in the grass. And the ground is dark, right? If you're up high, you're looking down, it's very dark. And dark back blends in. The leopards like to be up in trees. And so they're way up high, and if something's down low looking up into the trees, it's going to be very bright, kind of white, and lots of like modeling. And that's where this is. So camouflage is. The dark back going low, light when you're high, up high, right? So pretty good camouflage. So that's in. All right, let's see.
So what are two animals from, I guess, the feline family in Africa that are almost exactly the same, I guess, parent-wise?
What was the question?
He was asking what are the two big cats in Africa that look very similar to each other?
Oh, the cheetah and the leopard? You're talking about? Yeah. How to tell the difference?
No, I think it was just asking which
Oh.
two.
Oh yeah, so cheetahs and leopards look a lot alike because they're spotted. The cheetahs are just their spots are solid, right? And the leopards have a kind of a big what we call rosette. And cheetahs tend to be a lot slimmer, right? For being fast. Yeah. Good question. All right. Let's see. And then hair. A lot of times animals have adapted for different things and changed. And so hair has kind of changed over time to do different things. So camouflage, keeping them warm, and really, really good for protection. Let's see if you guys can guess what that is. That's a hair that's up on that screen. What hair do you think that came from? What animal hair is that? It's a modified hair. Porcupine. Porcupine, hedgehog, right, absolutely. That is, what, Brittany? I think the other one? Right. Right, so that is spine. This one comes from a porcupine, an African porcupine. African stuff is no case. Porcupine. Okay, porcupine is what we have here. Oh, Lord, it's been a long day. So, yeah, so that is just a hair, but it's just been modified over many, many years. And they use it for what? What do they use it for? You're going to come up and bite this animal? Right. That's going to keep you from not wanting to bite that animal. You get poked in the mouth, right? So pretty good form of protection. And a lot of times, thank you, the other one. Thank you. A lot of times what they do is, I need more. I need more. I'm being greedy.
You want it all?
Yeah, I do. I want it all. Because a lot of times when I warn animals, they do this. I'll put it next to the next one here. Don't throw that Donna.
You don't throw them at Donna.
Can you guys hear that? So they shake them, and they warn off other animals too. Thank you. So, pretty good way. That's a pretty awesome covering. Protect yourself. Covered in spine. Pretty good way of protecting yourself.
Could you show the rosette again?
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Cool.
Trying to find a good one. Kind of that opening in the middle, so it's not a solid dark. There's a little bit of light on the inside. You know, that's a leopard. Leopard.
Yes, I'm thinking of leopards. Why would they prefer a tree when they're pretty quick on the ground?
What do you guys think? Why would they want to be up in a tree? Leopards are good climbers. Cheetahs are mostly on the ground. They don't climb. They're not great at climbing. But leopards can climb up a tree, and they have very big, powerful jaws and back shoulders. Climbing up the tree with, I like that look down for prey, right? Nice being up high helps you to find your prey. That's a good one. Anything else? Bounce on from the tree, right? But let's say you've gotten up from the tree, a nice little thompson gal kind of walking by, and you jump down and you pounce on him, and you got him, sweet, I got my meal. And then you see another cheetah or hyena or something out of the corner of your eye. Where's the best place to eat the thompson gal? In the tree. In the tree, absolutely. So they are so strong and powerful, they can pull that animal up into the tree and keep it up there safe, and they can eat what they want and save it up there and then come back and eat it later. So pretty smart, right? But having that strong, powerful jaws grabbing and thick arms. Ooh, right. Fun. Dragging things up. So good question. All right. Thank you. All right. Now let's see. My last covering, sorry, get ready. Coming back. Oh, let's put it in there. You probably already guessed.
Yeah, they're already good. We got one in there.
Yeah, and for you. Right. I love looking at the. Excuse me, actually, flip it over the other side. So excited. And zoom in as close as you can. This is my favorite part. So this. It almost looks like hair, doesn't it? Because owls have super special hair, like feathers. That's what covers feathers. Fur makes them super, super soft, super silent. They have this extra layer, kind of feathering on top of the feathers. And you can really see that here. Pretty cool. All right. Zoom back out. Yeah. You might have met her before, but like I said, she never gets old to me. I've been working with her for 7 years, and I will see her every single time.
So we got an all caps with multiple exclamation points. Her name.
Yay! Yeah, she is a rock star. She's a rock star. Just give me a minute while I get her out. Do you have any questions? Denise or Donna or Brittany can help answer any while I'm getting her out.
Oh, yes, Steve was wondering if you could show the switch on the wing edge.
Yeah. All right. From the very edge on the
Is it right near the base of it?
it's right on the very edge of the so where the wings look like that.
It's like, what's that?
Yes, sorry. All right, let's take care of treats. We're coming out. Say hi. There we go. Oh, the microphone's over there. Usually we have a microphone on top of the camera, and she's like, "What is that?" Now it's moved, and she's like, "I don't know what to think about this," but she's eating, so that's a good sign. That tells me she's okay with the microphone being there. Somebody said it earlier. It's Sarah. Sorry, you yelled me here. So this is Sarah. I'm going to come in a little bit closer. See what she does. I'm just going to go really slow. Just keeping an eye on that microphone. She only has one eye. Keep an eye on her. So this is Tara. And Tara is, anybody know what kind of owl she is? I'll let you guys see. Oh, somebody got it right. Nice job, Philip. Barred owl. Because if you look at her belly, I'm sorry, it looks like she's got bars on her belly. That's barn. So the barred owl. There's a barn owl. There's two different species. All together. That's funny. So the next one is over here. It looks like a big mouse. That's really why. So let's give her a treat. She's such a good girl. I'm coming up close. So I always bring the owls out because they're probably one of my favorites. They have an extra layer of feathering. They're so soft. I wish we could do this in person. But I always let people touch the owl feathers that we have. They're so soft. And you can really feel. And all of that, plus, I want to be able to see that. I'm going to move out of the way. You can't come up close while we got Tara out.
I can see it from here.
Yeah, this is a pretty good image. That, on the very edge of her wing, right here, when she puts her wings out, it's kind of like this part right here. Yeah, this finger right here. They have like this fringe that sticks out. So when they flap their wings, zero sound silent. So it breaks up the air circulation. If you've ever seen or heard ducks fly or geese fly or pigeons or doves, things like that, they take off the fly, it makes a lot of noise when they flap their wings. It does not. So owls are super silent, except of course when they're looking for boyfriends and girlfriends or setting up territory. Then they're not so silent. When they start calling, it makes lots of noise. Oh, you want some food? I'm checking it out. Yeah, she is. We're getting it. Today, on the menu today is chicken. And some meat. A little variety. But they will eat just about anything they can catch and carry off. They're not particular picky about it at all. But feathers are fascinating. Not only does hers help her be quiet, but what else do you think her feathers help her do? She will go down, swoop down and catch the food. You do what? Keep warm, right? They do help keep her warm and cool, just like the fur does. So she can adjust all her feathers to trap warm air or cold air next to the skin to keep her warm or cold. Yeah. What are birds really good at doing? Most birds, not all birds. How do they get around? Right. The feathers help them to fly, just like the scales help the snake to kind of move around. Feathers help them to fly. So their coverings help them do lots of different things. So feathers are really good. So keep them warm, keep them cool. And if you notice, her standing up, if she was sitting in a tree up against a tree trunk, do you think you'd see her very easily? No, right, absolutely. Matter of fact, you probably have walked by a barred owl if you've ever gone hiking and didn't know it. Because that's all they do all day, they just sit still and quiet next to a branch, on a branch next to the trunk, and they just blend in, camouflage. So amazing camouflage. The feathers do so much for them. Keep them warm, help them blend in, help them to fly. How much do you think Tara weighs? I'm going to forget the name. But then chat, how much do you think Tara weighs?
While they're doing that, what time would you commonly see them? Like, what time are they going to practice?
Well, in the wintertime, when they're looking for setting up a territory and looking for a boyfriend or girlfriend, usually as soon as the sun goes down or dusk, they just start calling and you start hearing them talking a lot. So they're mostly active starting at dusk on up until whenever they get tired. So they don't move around all night. That just means they go find their food or find their mate or find whatever. And then once they found it, they go take a rest. So they don't move a huge amount. They don't migrate. They don't do a lot of flying. Enough to get them around and find the food.
We've got
Wait, what do we got? Guesses?
from less than a pound up to 30.
Okay. You guys had the close to the pound. Good. She's about a pound and a half, pound and a quarter. Depends on time of year. And so she's super, super light. She looks like she weighs 30 pounds, but because she's covered in feathers, that's super light. That helps her to be light for flying, right? So feathers are so much for them. So it's pretty amazing cover. Do you want to do food? Okay. You guys have any questions about Miss Sarah? She's so focused on her beautiful face. You guys notice, is she missing something?
We only see
I know, she won't look over that way. If I knew it was food.
how old is she?
Good question. So we're not 100% sure because she was injured in the wild. That's why she's actually missing her eye over here. And so she came to the hospital that we have here at the zoo for injured wild animals. And she came in as an adult. And she's been here for 18 years. So how long she was in the wild as an adult, we don't know. So we're guessing anywhere from 18 to 20, maybe 22, 23, who knows? We're not 100% sure. We're saying around roughly 20. We're guesstimating. So, which is pretty old. So in the wild, they don't usually live that long. They're usually between 10 and 15 years. But because she's got free food, she's got free health care, and people that absolutely adore her, we're hoping she can live to be, hopefully upper 20s, maybe in her 30s. We hope, fingers crossed. And free rent, yeah, that's true.
And the page that you might have seen a little bit of when Nikki was taking her out, that is actually just her traveling home.
Right.
She has a bigger home that is not in view for the public so that she can enjoy some peace and quiet.
Yep.
So she definitely lives the luxury life. She's not always in that.
Right. Nope, absolutely not. She only goes in there when she's going to a program. And it's pretty amazing. This is a wild bird. And the fact that she goes in a cage, and we ask her to, and she goes readily on her, and it's her decision, her choice. And step on her glove, let us put all the gear and stuff on her. Are you angry? There's her neighbor. Her neighbor. There's a bird. You can see it behind me on the picture behind us. That's her neighbor, Braveheart. Checking them out. It's pretty awesome. All right. Any other questions about Miss Sarah?
This is not necessarily a question, but how far can they move their head?
Oh, very good question. So most people think they can go all the way around, but if you guys, if you taking the lid off of like a peanut butter jar or something, you turn it all the way around, it pops off, right? That's what happens to their head. So they can't go all the way around, but you can go pretty close. So how far can you guys turn your head? Everybody turn your head go as far as you can. Only 90 degrees, right? Usually 90. Oh, here's she's showing. We can do 90. You can continue, look over that shoulder, and then come around to this shoulder. About 270 degrees. So much farther than we can. But you can do something that she can't. So if you have somebody in your room with you, see if you can see them without moving your head. I can see Brittany over here. I can see Sarah. Yeah, without having to move my head, because we can move our eyes. Sarah can do that. Her eyes are so big that she's got all the muscles to hold her eye in place, and she's got a special bone there to keep her eye in. She's so large, so they can't move their eyes. But compensates for that and you can move her head. All right. Any other questions? So good. Good owl. All right, I'm going to put her back if we have Just lots of different kinds of coverings, different uses for them. So there's lots of different wings. So as you're walking around, when you're taking a hike or you're looking around anywhere in your home, try to read coverings. See what they do, how they help them. What does yours do for you? Anything like that. So check things out and just think about it. And if you have a really cool microscope, put it under there and let's get a closer look. Because that's awesome. That's pretty cool to see up close how that actually helps you. So, still no questions? Good. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully, we'll see you next time with equipment working and everything in order. Denise is going to be our next one. What are we doing? We're going on an African safari next week, right? All right. So come back next Thursday at 1 and join us for our African safari with Denise. All right, guys. Have a good day, and we'll see you next